What is up? What is up, YouTube? Where's my monitor, man? I can't tell. I know we're recording. Oh my God, here we go with this mess again. Wait a minute, y'all. Show monitor. There we go. Okay, yeah, we are recording. I knew we was recording because after the countdown, hit record. Check this out, man. Breaking: Diddy files emergency motion to flip worker against Cassie. Expect changes to be dropped. Here we go already. This is gonna make this trial longer. No matter what, they're expecting X amount of weeks, which is 2 or 3 months. I'm expecting 2 years, and I'm holding fast. But I'm starting my count on the day Diddy has been locked up. The day they took him and put him in jail. He's gonna be fighting for the next 2 years to try to get out. He's gonna once they found him guilty on something, then he's gonna do an appeal. He's gonna appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court, stuff like that. I know, cause Diddy ain't going. I would do the same thing, man. My life about to change like that. But first of all, Uncle Mike wouldn't have never did half of the stuff that they claim he did. I can't hurt people. Male or female, I can't hurt people. Anyway, let's see what Tisha Tales got to say about this. Let's check this bad boy out.
Oh no.
Hello.
Hey guys, what's up? Listen, we gotta talk. Diddy's team, I've been trying to get this research all day. Diddy's team has been running amok. You guys, there's been a secret war going on, and Diddy thinks he's found a way to completely get the charges dropped and end everything with Cassie. You guys, this is not a drill. We got the court documents. If you guys don't know, Diddy's team has been arguing that, Your Honor, we need to review the documents over the weekend to see if we got everything out of Cassie. The government was like, are you out of your mind? You've already gotten double the time to question Cassie as we did, and we all agreed it would end Friday. What are you trying to do? Go take her into labor and make her have a mistrial? That's just one level, right? And that seems pretty obvious. However, there is something even more afoot. There is something even more astray. That didn't even make any sense, but I was just trying to be dramatic. You guys, Diddy thinks that they have flipped one of the SMEX workers that Cassie was in a relationship with for multiple years. They are now subpoenaing his lawyer notes. His lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, is saying absolutely not. These notes are attorney-client privilege. Diddy is in front of the judge arguing, no. Because once we see these notes, which people say read like a book, it's going to provide indisputable evidence that Cassie is the mastermind, or at the very least, she is a freak-off queen, and this is what she wanted. Now listen, when I first heard it, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody say that? However, they're saying this particular sex worker that Cassie was basically in a relationship with Diddy with for over 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years. They're saying this worker has irrefutable proof that everything Diddy was saying is true. Now I know when I said that, I rolled my eyes too, but let's actually go through this because I think it's important to note. You guys, Diddy is playing dirty, and anybody that thinks Diddy is innocent, I want to say, innocent people don't move like this. Innocent people don't throw dirt in the face of justice. Innocent people don't have to play these games. But you guys, this is a very, very serious challenge. The prosecution is fighting tooth and nail not to release these notes. Tyrone Blackburn, the attorney representing the SMEX worker, is also fighting not to release the notes. The thing is, I have the legal documents. We're going to go over them. The thing is, this actually might end up blowing up in Diddy's face like everything else he's tried to do. But you know what? Let's get into this mess because...
My bad, y'all. I forgot to turn the mic completely off because I don't supposed to talk no more. But saying Cassie was the mastermind and she wanted to freak off and all that type of stuff, that is straight up
a bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
I just had to let my man speak, man. I ain't been letting him talk. He want to talk on the bull when it's time for the bull. Okay, so now let's get into the Tisha Tales notes. Here we go, y'all.
Oof. Okay, first of all, let me go over my notes, y'all. For those of y'all that's like, Tisha, you're taking too long to get into the tea. Let's go over to these notes really quick, and then we're going to get into the court documents, okay?
Do your thing.
All right? Diddy had just subpoenaed one of his old insiders. The escort's name is Clayton Howard, right? Clayton Howard, Diddy, and Cassie were rumored to have been in a throuple for years, okay? Clayton Howard was called to testify by the prosecution. However, the prosecution was rethinking that because Clayton Howard, people are saying, is very, 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 very angry at Cassie. Remember how Cassie said at the end of her testimony, and when they did, it came a thing. So I was in the court, and if they didn't transcribe this, let me tell you what they said. Also, I'm in court Monday through Friday. Turn on your notifications. You know I'm going to give you all the real, right? But Cassie was in court, and they asked her something along the lines of like, do you regret anything? Like, what do you regret? And she was like, I regret all this. I would give all the money back if it means like I could turn back time. I learned bad habits. I'm paraphrasing. I learned to be bad to people. I learned to treat people like they were disposable. I learned to be mean, and I never want to be that person again. Okay, right? That's what I said. Okay, Cassie, like, what's going on? However, my sources are 100% telling me that one of the people she could have been referring to is Clayton Howard. Again, Clayton and Howard and Cassie, at least he believed, from what my sources are telling me, they had But on top of that, right, they are saying that this escort, Clayton Howard, one of the reasons why Diddy is now fighting for him to testify, even though the prosecution is like, no, and Tyrone Blackburn is like, you cannot not have attorney privilege notes, is because they are saying he is very angry at Cassie. He does not look at Cassie as the victim. And if anything, he seems oddly pro-Diddy, okay? They're saying that he seems oddly pro-Diddy. He feels like Cassie was the one that was mean to him. Cassie was the one that lied to him. Cassie was the one that, even when Diddy wasn't around, was trying to, like, you know, see what that thing do. However, my other insiders are saying that Clayton has misplaced anger. And even though it might have seemed like Cassie was doing that, the prosecution can still argue that Diddy just flipped the script, okay? So get this, right? They said Diddy just subpoenaed one of his old insiders, Clayton Howard. He's a SMEX worker. And he wants Clayton Howard, to hand over a so-called journal. Now, this journal is written like, they're saying it's more like a book, right? But it's not a book. It's not a book, right? But Diddy's trying to act like, no, this is like a book or something like that. And Diddy is confident. He thinks this could destroy not only Cassie Ventura's testimony, but take the wind completely out of the prosecution case. And he thinks charges actually might end up getting dropped. Now, before we say, oh, please, that'll never happen. Did anybody think that Diddy would have flipped Gina? Did you think Diddy was going to flip Gina? Again, victim 3 is rumored to be Gina, is nowhere around. But here's the thing, and this is what attorney Tyrone Blackburn Esquire is arguing, that the journal is actually a confidential legal outline that Clayton Howard made along with his lawyer Tyrone Blackburn Esquire when he was considering suing Diddy. It was never meant for court, and it definitely wasn't meant to help a man. It was written against. Now, again, the reason why Diddy is wanting Clayton Howard to testify is because, again, Diddy's gotten word that Clayton Howard, sorry guys, Diddy's gotten word that Clayton Howard is actually not on his side, but sees Cassie even more evil than Diddy did, right? But here's the thing, right? Diddy is trying to get Cassie, and we're about to get into these legal documents because they are juicy, but I'm just giving you the setup. Diddy is trying to extend, right, the time that Cassie can testify. She was supposed to stop Friday. He wants it extended, or he wants her to come back. Because right now, these motions that they have been arguing undercover about what's going to be granted. And if the motion gets granted, they want to sit there and not only question Clayton, but they want to bring Cassie back up on the stand and completely destroy her. Because Diddy feels if he can get rid of Cassie, He can get the SMEX worker to say something. He then believes that everything else in the case will fall apart, right? He's hoping, not even hoping, they say that Diddy is confident that the document gives him so much to drag Cassie in front of the jury and literally sink the case, right? However, Clayton's lawyer, 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 Blackburn, is saying this is privilege, it's off limits, and Diddy's just trying to go on a fishing trip. Okay, so a few other notes, 1 second. One more second. I have a few more notes. Sorry about that. I just want to read the notes before we get into this because it's going to be a lot of really funny legal documents, but legal documents, right? Diddy defense subpoena Clayton Howard, demanding all written materials and notes documenting his memories of events in the case. And that means all their free calls, including a journal, okay? Now, these aren't documents created in court. They're private recollections, some of which were allegedly shared with prosecutors and others. I know, I woke up to bring all this tea. I'm gonna get to it in a second. The defense argues that no privilege applies, and even if it did once, it's been waived by Clayton Howard discussing the material with third parties and considering publication. Who are these third parties that Clayton might have discussed it with? Well, let's look at it. Did he talk to the Breakfast Club? Did he talk to TMZ? Did he talk to other lawyers? Again, who are these third parties? Remember I said that Diddy seems like he's invested $7 million into media to plant stories and to buy out people and to shake hands? Now we see why. Now here's why it's so bold and so risky. We're about to get into the legal documents. Just let me set it up for y'all, right? Diddy is fishing in dangerous waters. Clayton Howard is a longtime Diddy associate. He's a SMEX worker. He knows where all Diddy skeletons are. The defense knows if Clayton Howard notes confirm any of the stories swirling around Diddy, especially around SMEX parties, coercion, and rugs, it'll devastate their case. Now, hear me out. Diddy thinks Clayton's gonna get on stand and use his anger for Cassie to be like, it was her, she did it right there, right? However, the one thing that Diddy isn't counting on is by bringing Clayton into court, he is low-key confirming that all the stuff happened. It's just up to the jury to believe who was responsible. So even though you think that you're digging a grave for Cassie, it looks like you're gonna fall into it. Because the fact that Diddy's team is really trying to make us believe that Diddy was this billionaire mogul doing the damn thing, and Cassie was a 25-year-old woman that was manipulating him, running his thing, doing that, manipulating workers, all this stuff, it just doesn't make sense, right? Especially when she was getting her face bashed in. And I don't even say that lightly, but the fact that anybody expects us to believe that Cassie was running Diddy and was running in control, but yet Cassie was the one always getting her face bashed in. Cassie was the one having to go to plastic surgeons. Cassie was the one that couldn't show up anywhere. It literally defies all logic. Anyway, right? They're saying they are, now here's the thing. If Clayton Howard does this, Diddy, the jury can still say, okay, all this happened, Clayton confirmed it, and we still think you're behind it. But here's the thing. Diddy's team is trying to flip the script. If they can get to the journal first, they're hoping they can shape the narrative or poke holes in it. Now, funny thing about this, when my sources are like, Diddy is trying to flip the script, here's all I want to say, right? Clayton Howard's lawyer is fighting this tooth and nail. The fact that Diddy is fighting for these documents, it makes me think, is he going to try to flip? Sorry, I'm waking up. Is he going to try to flip Clayton Howard? Okay. Now, moreover, listen. Again, okay, anyway, let's move on, right? Also, there's the legal theater. Clayton Howard's lawyer, 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 Blackburn, filed a motion to squash, arguing the materials are protected. Diddy's team clapped back, saying that he doesn't even know what's in the journal and can't claim privilege if it's already been shared. The defense is now trying to paint Clayton Howard as unreliable and his lawyer as misinformed. But the subtext here is deeper. They're scared that Clayton's notes could validate Cassie, corroborate other accusers, or show long-term misconduct if they are not allowed to craft the narrative. However, they are hoping that if Clayton sends this first, it will open a dialogue and Clayton could go way of victim number 3. who all of a sudden said, never mind, I don't want to do this magically. Now, the Diddy's team is working fast because once these notes go public or get entered by the government, they lose all control. I think this is less about the notes and more about getting involved with Clayton, right? But here's what Diddy is really after. He's dragging Cassie's cross-examination into overtime and grabbing at Clayton Howard's documents. Diddy's legal team is operating a clear strategy: delay the damage, control the documents, overwhelm the witness, and hopefully bring the witness to the side. Again, to me, this is desperation disguised as due diligence. But remember when I told you guys, right? I'm never going to be biased. Now, hear me out. Y'all know I hate a deadbeat dad. Y'all know I hate an abuser. Y'all know I hate the tyranny of evil men or women, right? Just so happened in 2025 ain't been nothing but men doing the tyranny, right? But I'm always going to be unbiased in the way that I can call a spade a spade. This Clayton Howard testimony is in no way going to be a good, if he can get the notes and journals from what my sources are saying that Clayton feels about Cassie and what happened during that time. And also, here's the thing. People are saying that Clayton just didn't have freak offs with Cassie. Clayton was Diddy's favorite. So other women, wouldn't it be funny if Clayton had a freak off with Gina? Other women might have also been involved without Cassie being around. Now, why is that so obvious? It's like this. Clayton, here's the thing. Cassie did, let me just be honest. Cassie said that a lot of people, she was horrible to a lot of people. This is often common with victims of abuse. They learn from the monsters that to treat others like monsters. All things can be true at once. Cassie can be Diddy's victim, and Clayton or a sex worker could also be a victim of Cassie. And Cassie could have treated Clayton the way Diddy treated her. But yet and still, Cassie's not on trial. Diddy is. And Diddy is actually the person going through generational curses. I gotta be honest, if Clayton testifies, this is not gonna be good for the case. This might even be the win Diddy needs for a mistrial, and they're moving fast for a mistrial. Don't forget, Diddy just needs one person to be like, I don't know, before the whole trial goes poof. And Diddy knows that, and Diddy is planning on that. Again, this Clayton Howard, I gotta be honest with y'all, this Clayton Howard is not good for Cassie at all. Anyway, let's look at this Clayton motion real quick. I'll put the small me up there. Where am I at? Let's look at this motion really, really quick. Let's go through it, and then we're gonna look at the defense response, because baby, when I tell you the nerve, the nerve, the nerve. Okay, I'm here. Let me scoot over. Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? Is this thing on? All right, let's get into this. First, let's talk about the actual motion to squash. Hold on, can y'all hear me? Everything good in the chat? Listen, and I'm gonna get it.
Man, my bad, y'all. That's my bad again. Uncle Mike can't remember to put the chat up, man. I cannot remember to do that.
Also, you guys, this emergency motion just came in last minute. Diddy's response actually just came in last minute. So tomorrow we are going live 2 times. Really quick before we get into documents, I just want to let you guys know, we're going live 2 times tomorrow. The first one, we're going to have our Diddy Fantasy League. We are going to actually go through the charges, go through the burden of evidence. We're going to look at the case the prosecution just submitted so far. Don't forget, your girl was in court all week and not in the overflow room, baby. Your girl was in court watching, listening, feeling energy. I even got Diddy glaring at me a few times, right? Your girl is going to be, and since I've been in court, I'm going to go over all my notes and show you exactly word for word. Because a lot of people are like, I don't see Rico, I don't see this, because there's so much you leave out in the lives. It's 8 hours of testimony. We can't fit everything in, but I'm going to go and point to the specific testimony, read this for you. Hold on really quick. Hello? Hold on really quick, y'all. Hi. Hello? Hello? Yes. Okay. isn't it on the, yes. Okay. All right, hello. That was my DoorDash driver. Anyway, y'all, we're gonna have to wrap this up in 5 to 6 business days. No, seriously, I'm not DoorDash acting lost. Anyway, I'm like, yes. Anyway, sorry guys. Where was I? Dragon Diddy. My point of the matter with this is, sorry y'all, my point of the matter is this with Diddy, okay? Diddy looks at this as an escape hatch. I do believe all things can be true. I also believe that Diddy refuses to believe. For some reason, the prosecution is very, very confident.
She got a phone call, y'all. But hey, I'm gonna take a pause because I gotta go to the bathroom. Peace out. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. Okay. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Cassie is a witness, but she's not the star witness. Diddy is determined, and he truly believes that the prosecution is bluffing him. And he truly believes that the prosecution has, let me move myself over, that the prosecution has nobody else outside of Cassie. And he firmly believes that if he can get the prosecution on the ropes, right? He firmly believes that he will, in fact, beat these charges. Now, are these the ravings of the madman? I don't know. But he swears that the prosecution is bluffing and that the most they have to offer and the most compelling evidence is Cassie. And that if he can get Clayton Howard to say bad things about Cassie or to give an alternate narrative, right? Then he believes that he is going to beat these charges because he only needs one win. I'll tell you what, there is a woman in the second row of the jury that is not feeling Cassie or the prosecution at all. She seems like she's firmly Team Diddy, okay? And all you need is either her or one man to say, yeah, we're not doing this. Anyway, let's get into the memorandum of law, shall we? And let's get this mug.
Hold up. First of all, the guy she talking about, when he was talking to the police officer, he didn't mention, he was saying Diddy made me do all this. He didn't say Cassie had me as an S-slave. Cassie made me do this. So Diddy's girl Cassie is the one that did this. No, he was saying it like, look, Diddy paid me $5 million to be quiet because Diddy made me a S-slave for them and all this type of stuff. Diddy did it. Does that make sense? If back then when he wouldn't have chopped Diddy head off if Diddy was he was in the hotel, he was in the museum messing with Diddy, not Cassie. I don't understand people. I'm trying to understand these people, man. I don't understand how people think, man.
Actually flowing through. Hold on really quick, y'all. Okay, where is the memorandum? Okay. So we're going into the preliminary statement, the factual background. Again, Clayton Howard's lawyer, Tyrone A. Blackburn, is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that nobody can get this. I find it very, very hard. I find it very, very funny, but also like very, very sad that Diddy literally tried to get the case dropped off because people were looking at his work privilege. And now he's trying to get work privilege from Clayton Howard in order to get this sorted out. But we already know this with Diddy. It's 1 for him, 2 for somebody else. Anyway, let's get right into this. We already have the factual background. Now listen to this. Clayton Howard is a private individual who has not been charged or named as a party in this criminal proceeding. He appears solely as a potential witness or interested third party. On or about May 5th, they've been fighting this in secret for a while. 2025, defendant Sean Combs served Clayton Howard with a subpoena according to Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 17C, commanding production of all written materials and notes you have created concerning your memories of events relevant to the above captioned case, including but not limited to portions of the written journal you have been maintaining, that document those memories. Again, you are literally asking for somebody's legal work privilege. Now, how would they know about this? It makes me wonder. Did Clayton try to approach or sell the contents of his journal to media? If he went to TMZ, that was the dumbest thing ever, because TMZ is straight Diddy. If he got flipped, that's also dumb because Diddy don't pay anybody and the federal governments are going to be watching your account. But I tend not to believe that he got flipped by Diddy because I don't think his lawyer would be fighting so hard. So it makes you think, where did Diddy actually get this information?
She said TMZ is straight Diddy. TMZ is straight on Diddy's side. That's what she just said, man. Wow. That's some side notes. See, a lot of times people say little things that Uncle Mike pick up on, and I keep that in mind. I put a paper clip on it. Put a paper clip on that, baby. TMZ, they on Diddy. They like Diddy. Yeah, they on Diddy's side. Diddy paid them a lot of money.
They said, contrary to the subpoena's characterization, Mr. Howard does not maintain a written journal. Contrary to Diddy's characterization of these documents, he has never maintained a written journal, okay? Instead, he possesses a confidential litigation document entitled Statement of Facts Puffy, explicitly prepared at the direction of counsel during their initial consultation on or about April 7, 2024. His contemporaries' notes from that consultation detailing this directive can be provided for the court in-camera inspection upon request. In-camera means that it's going to be only the judge looks at it. So you don't hand it over to the jury. You say, I'm going to give it to the judge. I'm going to let Judge 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 look at this. And if Judge 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗏 thinks that it's good, then that. But I'm out of it. Hear what it is. I trust the judge. That's what it is. In-camera also means that the other side cannot see, okay? They said such directives for clients to document experiences and recollections in preparation for potential litigation are consistent with counsel's customary professional practice and have been routinely employed for numerous other clients. You better go to work. This is Tyrone Blackburn. Douglas Wigburn and Tyrone Blackburn have been eating Diddy cases up. I know that a bunch of bad press is coming out, but when you think about it, Diddy is just buying off everything and everybody, okay?
You better go to work.
Thank you so much,
Tisha.
Kathy Bogle, for the super chat. And I want to thank all you guys from...
Well, thing she is trying to do so much stuff, y'all. Y'all gotta bear with us YouTubers, y'all. We try things. We try to bring you up on things. We gotta order food. We gotta eat. We gotta eat Oreo cookies. We gotta eat the Oreo cookies. Hey, check this out, man. Just to let y'all know, everything in the Philippines tastes different while we waiting on her. McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, everything has a
One second.
A unique taste to it. These Oreo cookies do not taste like our Oreo cookies. To me, everything tastes less sweeter, like all the ice cream and all the cookies and everything. All the sweets taste less, like it got less sugar.
Hold on.
What makes it so bad is this. There's only one thing that tastes 100% exactly like it does, and that's Krispy Kremes. Krispy Kremes done knocked it out the park, man. I think Krispy Kremes taste the same worldwide. McDonald's.
So anyway, one second. I just got to upload this really, really quick.
I think McDonald's and other places, they use the ingredients from that country, that state, like using their water, using their lettuce, and where they, you know, whatever they grow, I don't know, using their meats, different things like that.
I just got a hot tip from a source. Can y'all just give me one quick second? Talk among yourselves. Where is this mess with?
Talk among yourselves. That's what we do. Uncle Mike gonna keep y'all, but now I can talk. Cause she ain't saying nothing.
Nope.
So today's my last day. Today's my last day in the Philippines. So we're packing up. Right after this video, we're gonna be packing up, and I'm going to Manila. And I'm gonna be shooting all kinds of stuff.
There is going to be a shocker this week, 100%. There's gonna, oh wow. Okay, so listen, also,
y'all got me in
Diddy
trouble.
really is trying to drag Cassie back to court. However, Cassie is heavily pregnant.
Yeah, y'all got me in trouble. I was supposed to be sending some money. I'm over here talking to y'all. I got in trouble. Where's the money? That's what she great.
Did he really actually think that this mistrial is actually going to work if Cassie goes into labor? Because get this, not only if Cassie goes to labor, they are saying that Diddy plans to, if she does go in labor, they want to bring Cassie back after labor for her to continue her testimony. They are saying that Diddy is hell-bent on, there's something wrong with Diddy. Why is he hell-bent on once Cassie has her baby coming back? Like, can y'all just please, like, calm down, Diddy? Damn, Diddy is like obsessive. There is literally something wrong with this man. There is genuinely something wrong with this man. I just don't. I don't understand it. Like, what in the world? Okay, all right, let me focus on this thing, right? They said on or about May 1st, 2024, okay? Mr. Howard emailed an initial version of the Howard outline to counsel. Next week, let me just tell y'all something. I can't say too much, but next week at the Diddy trial is gonna be so incredibly juicy. You're not gonna believe it. Anyway, he emailed the initial version of the Howard outline to counsel. Following this initial transmission, counsel and Mr. Howard had multiple follow-up conversations wherein counsel provided specific feedback and instructions and guidance. Mr. Howard consistently revised and amended the Howard outline in response to counsel's explicit hold on a second,
y'all. Yeah, I'm going up there. I don't know how to get into the courtroom, but I guess it early. The first come, first serve, maybe. I don't know, but I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm trying to find somebody to go with me, but man, anybody that goes with me, y'all, I'm gonna have to pay their way and pay for their hotel and buy them food and all the type of stuff. Oh my God. So I might just roll by myself, but I want somebody to hold the camera and different things. Maybe I get up there and meet somebody and say, yo man, why don't you, I'll pay you a little something. I'll pay you a little something to hold the camera or something. I might go that route. I think I'm gonna go that route.
Anyway,
I don't want somebody to hold my camera, right? I'm holding the camera and I turn around. I got the mic clip on and everything. I was like, hey guys, and he holding the camera. So that's it. I'm gonna back up. Then they turn around and run. He started running with my camera. Hey, give me my camera back. What's wrong with you? He stole my camera. I don't want that to happen. She laughing. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Yeah. So I'm hoping that I can find somebody or put the camera on the tripod or something. So I might be rolling like she rolling by her. She by herself. She all by herself up there.
They said Mr. Howard consistently revised and amended the Howard outline in response to counsel's explicit instructions and then provided these updated versions back to counsel through multiple subsequent emails. This iterative collaborative process aimed to refine litigation strategies, evaluate potential claims, and develop comprehensive legal theories related to anticipated civil litigation against defendant claims, right? 1 second.
You go, girl, getting up. It's okay for her to multitask and do all this stuff, but when Uncle Mike, you talk too much, Uncle Mike, and you do this, we waiting on Tisha Tales. Tisha Tales is factual. Was she a lawyer? I think she used to be a lawyer, or she good. I know one thing, boy. If I was ever in trouble, I would ask her for her advice.
Hold on a second, guys.
Sometimes people.
I might have to go.
Yeah, I got some juicy. My man, a lot of my peoples were saying it. If Diddy get off, the first person they looking at is Bugsby. They think Bugsby is working behind the scenes for Diddy. Can you imagine if Bugsby, and I'm gonna break this all down.
Okay, so
can you imagine if Bugsby got all them people that was against Diddy? If you ever been audited by Diddy, call this 1-800 number. So I'm gonna get all the people to sign up with me, Bugsby, and represent them, and then I'm gonna mess up their cases and file the papers wrong and file in the wrong courthouses and all this stuff. So far, all that stuff Bugsby done did with the 1-800 number, I ain't heard nothing going down with it. What's up with you, Bugsby? We was counting on you, and for some reason, you ain't shown us nothing. You went after Jay-Z. I think that was our plan. Look here, we gonna make it like you did some stuff, and then I'm gonna start falling apart. And Diddy behind the scenes paying everybody, and Jay-Z, that's his boy, so Jay-Z gonna help him out some kind of way. Yeah, we're gonna discrape Bugsby, something like that.
Anyway,
yeah.
they said that
I know.
You guys, next week at trial is going to be so. Next week trial is going to be really, really explosive. Like really, really explosive, right? Anyway, he's saying over and over again that you have no right to this. I don't know why I'm giving it to you. Please, I don't want to decide. Judge, you go and decide, okay? He said immediately upon receiving the subpoena on or about May 5th, counsel informed the defendant's attorney, Diddy's attorney, in writing that he requested the document, but the document was protected by attorney-client privilege and attorney work product doctrine. Clearly identified the document's confidential nature, counsel explicitly requested that the defendant withdrew the subpoena. The defendant refused to withdraw the subpoena, necessitating the present motion to squash. The email communications reflecting these objections and responses are attached as exhibit in the motion. So basically, Diddy's team thought that they were gonna bully them into getting these things. And you know the one thing I will say about Diddy's arrogance, in no world does anybody have a right to client-attorney work product privilege. Now here's the gag, and there's one thing that we need to know. We say that, but the one thing that we don't know is, did Clayton Howard share this with TMZ? Did Clayton Howard actually share this with other people? Because if Clayton Howard did share this with other people, if Clayton Howard did share this with TMZ, well, then we actually have another thing happening. See, here's the thing. Attorney work-client privilege only works if things stay confidential between you, your attorney, or their staff. So what does that mean, right? If I have a meeting with my attorney and I talk about things in the office and there's no other people that aren't a party to it listening, then that is privilege, even if I'm saying something grimy. However, if we have a conversation out in public, and the waitress serving us coffee hears me be like, yo, like, why don't we just tell them A, B, and C? That is no longer attorney-client privilege. It seems like Diddy's team is saying that because they know for a fact, right? Because that they know for a fact that the attorney-client privilege is going on, they are saying that they have no need to honor it, and that anything Clayton has said to his lawyer that he might have shared with news media, they have access to. This is one of the reasons why the judge actually wanted a gag order on anyone, okay? This is one of the reasons why they actually wanted a gag order on things. Okay, so we have Clayton's motion, but let's get into what the defense said, because the defense said a lot, and they were also really, really ignorant about it, but there's a lot actually hidden in there into what we can actually look into, you guys. Let me just get these documents up. Okay, so this is that, Let's get into what the defense may or may not say. This is also the government being like, stop playing. We do not want this. Hold on, y'all. Let's move this over. Here we are. This is Diddy's response. And I gotta say one thing though, you know, and this goes on to say with prosecution, you often find that people get the lawyers they deserve, okay? Smart people usually pick smart lawyers. People that are assholes usually pick asshole lawyers. Rude people pick rude lawyers, because your lawyer is your personality, but they know the law, okay? Just like the prosecution, the way they're running their case is a reflection of their personality. So if you ever get a lawyer and you're not feeling their personality and all that sort of stuff, just break up with them as soon as you can, because they are going to ruin the case. Diddy's team is mad, rude, aggressive, demeaning, condescending, and just nasty for no reason, right? They go on to say that he moves to suppress the evidence the government obtained. Hold on, y'all. This is the wrong thing. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Hold on, y'all. We'll get this right. Hold on.
Oh, she cut it, y'all. She cut it. That's good because she's tired. She's sleepy. I'm going up there, baby boy. I am going up there. I will be up there. Oh man, I think I'm gonna take a couple of days off and see what's happening, and then I'm going up there, man. I know I'm going up there. I want to go up there for 3 days, and now I'm thinking I want to go up there for longer than 3 days. But look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here, dude. It is so much stuff coming down the pipe. Next week it's going to be amazing. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.